Hello and welcome back to the Real Estate RoundUp podcast. I am your host, Kobe Zinn, and I am joined here as always by my co-hosts, Andres Martinez and Tony Flores. How you guys doing today?
Howdy,
Right.
doing great.
Howdy.
Awesome. So I understand that recently it was the rodeo in San Antonio. So very roundup-y, if you know what I mean. But today we're going to be talking a little bit about creative ways that real estate agents are helping their clients, and I think it'll be a really good opportunity for you guys to share some stories of different times in the past that you guys have helped your clients in creative ways and actually went above and beyond your normal level of service to service your clients and their real estate needs. But before we do that, let's catch up a little bit. I know it's been rodeo week in the past week for you guys. So how have you guys been doing? How have you guys been holding up for the past week? We'll start with you, Andres, and then we'll go to you, Tony.
Doing well, touching bases. I'm actually been marketing for a Spanish seminar that I'm doing with a lender, Pearl Cook. And we're working on this seminar that we're going to be hosting here in the near future. So doing marketing, touching different businesses, and just communicating. Got some positive feedback this morning. I actually had an accountant reach out that she was very impressed on why we were doing it, and she believed in the message, and she spoke to her pastor. So hopefully we can work with our church and help people like get educated on how they can purchase a home. We're really focusing on Spanish speaking clients, so we can overcome that language barrier and that communication barrier.
That's very nice, Andres. I'm glad you guys are doing that, and I hope everything turns out great with what you're doing there. And what about you, Tony? What you been up to in the past week or so?
Doing good. We're getting ready for a couple of listings coming up to market, and having some consultations, doing some last minute prep work on it, walkthroughs and things like that. Also signed up to go do a 5K for multiple sclerosis, the walk we're going to have here in San Antonio. Supporting one of my clients as well, and that's something that I participated in last year, and looking forward to this upcoming one as well. And doing lots of follow up and staying on top of the market and what's happening in the builders, all that stuff. So
Nice.
staying busy with that. And also we have some new software coming up in our MLS board, so we've got some training coming up on that SNI as well. And we definitely went to the rodeo, saw a nice show, stock show and rodeo, and saw Winona Judd. That was pretty fun.
Did you try the elephant ears, man?
No, I didn't.
You have to, if anyone goes to the San Antonio Rodeo, you have to try the elephant ears. It stole the show this year, man.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll keep that in mind. I think we still have a little time left.
It's a pastry. It's almost like a funnel cake.
Uh-huh.
And then you could put like strawberries, powdered sugar. I had one that had like cream and honey. Oh my God. My kids,
Oh yeah.
man, they really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Say no more. I need it. Yeah. Somehow I missed it.
They stole the show this year, man. I'm telling you, it's worth it. Go back, man.
Go back for the elephant ears. Yeah. And you guys are making me hungry. just thinking about all the all the rodeo food that you guys got going on. So ours here in Houston is coming up actually I think next week. So ours runs into March. But it's always a good time here in spring. I know usually people think like springtime, this is a time where the market starts picking back up again in real estate, and it certainly seems so with all the activity that you guys have going on. But you guys are always staying active, right? Even throughout January and in the winter season as well. But today we're going to be talking, just a little bit about some different interesting stories that I think will be an opportunity for you guys to share different ways that you guys have serviced clients in the past. So the first one, I think a lot of people, will want to know is, real estate agents. A lot of times you guys have shared stories in the past in our podcast here where you guys have went above and beyond your normal level of service. So I love to get the opportunity to kind of hear a story from each of you on one time that you guys actually went above and beyond your normal level of service for a client and really help them, and went the extra mile. So we'll start with you, Tony, and then we'll go to Andres. The same question.
Yeah, great question. So one thing I probably just want to mention is, I think Andres and I were both on the same page here. We're usually have really great availability, which is not always the case for everybody, and which is maybe just a different time in our career. We have a lot of open availability, so I really like that. We're able to help people on the evenings, weekends, things like that. But just so that's more probably standard operating procedures for us. And so as far as going above and beyond, I would probably one of the things that I'm thinking about is just having a consultation with client who's getting ready to list the house, and what steps do they need to take to best prepare it. One instance that kind of brings to mind is a client that had done. It was in a great it's a really nice neighborhood, a lot of expectations for that neighborhood, and they had done some upgrades, but there were two areas that were probably some that they hadn't quite upgraded, they hadn't quite gotten to it yet, but they were still desire to sell their home, get their money, get some equity out of it, and move on to another project. They actually had some investments. So what happened was the flooring was great, their paint was great, and lots of nice updates, fans, and things like that. The only thing that hadn't updated, unfortunately, was like the master bath and the countertops in the kitchen. So did a consultation with them and work with a company, and this is essentially a service where they can come out and actually do upgrades, bring those. So what they did is they changed the countertops to granite countertops. They repainted the oak interior, the cabinets, the kitchen cabinets, and they also added pool handles on them. So I added pool handles, painted the cabinets nice uniform color that matched the granite countertops, and also replaced two vanities in the bathroom, and the shower as well had kind of just, I think it was probably about 15 years old. They did a recoating of it, so it freshened it up, added a few fixtures, cost them no money out of pocket. So from those upgrades, so it cost them no money to do this work. And what happened with that company is but what it did for them was it made the house shine on the market. There was another house that was similar size and condition to it that was on the market for about over 80 days. And when this one came to market, we were trying to use that as a comp, and that was kind of the one that was sticking out. It's like sticking out like a sore thumb. That one's similar, and just probably about 2 blocks away. But this one showed better on pictures, and then when people walked it, they really did like it. So it saved the homeowner from having her home sit on market. They were able to get a great price for that property, and at the end of the day, they were happy because they got more for that house than they would have had if they had to just leave it on the market and have a discounted, reduced price, because people don't want to have to move into a home and upgrade it. They want to just have it retail ready. And so I was able to do a consultation with that, connect her with the right people, and everything got done, within about a week and a half. And so it didn't really take any extra time, save time on the market, and able to get a great price for that in that neighborhood.
Yeah, that's actually a really cool story because you flipped a lot of houses, Tony. So you basically kind of went in and with your flipping experience, almost basically helped this homeowner fix certain parts of their house to make it more appealing to put on the market. And that's something I don't think a lot of agents that are just currently in the marketplace, that's not part of their core service, right? So that definitely is something that you've gone above and beyond for your clients. So same question to you, Andres. The time that you can think of that you went above and beyond your normal or core level of service and went the extra mile for a client?
So as far as for me, it actually happened kind of early in my real estate career, back in 21, when houses were flying off the market, realtors were overwhelmed, and most people were trying to get deals done, right? So what happened with me is I was referred some clients, Spanish speaking, and they had been in the market for 8 to 10 years. And when I say they had been on the market, is they had been denied. Uh, they had been kind of fell through the cracks because no one gave them the proper attention, or they wouldn't listen. So anytime they would make a comment like it's an I-10 loan, they would automatically discontinue, and they would be like, "No, I don't think you get a house." And then there was some citizenship in there that was a part of why they couldn't qualify. So over those 10 years, um, stuff started to move in their favor. They started to establish work history, and then they were able to get pre qualified. But what I noticed is that what needed to be done was for someone to actually spend time with them, sit down, come up with a plan, execute the plan, and then take small wins. I think sometimes everyone is like hitting for the home run. So we got pre qualified, we got to first base. We started looking at homes. We put in an offer. We got to second base. At that point, it was very, very competitive. So we got back to our offers didn't get accepted. We went back to first base. Then, after about 6 weeks, we finally got an offer accepted, and then we were able to get to second base, get the proper inspection, get them through the loan process, uh, and make sure that they came out from underwriting, and then finally bring them home and get them to become homeowners. The thing is, no one had spent the time to even get them on first base. And just because they weren't a home run, people weren't willing to invest my time. As a young real estate agent, I learned that. So anytime I work with a client, I sit and listen. I try to come up with a plan. I give them a realistic time frame. I think my time frame with them was 12 to 18 months. They were homeowners in 8 months. It was a very, very rewarding. I believe they're going on their third year here coming this year. And it's something that every time I see their Facebook post, and they're now we're talking about how time's flying, and they just eclipsed their second year, and now we're going into the third year. It's like those moments. I'm always tagged in them, and forever I'll be a part of their life because I was able to help them with home ownership.
Yeah. And that I really, really like that story because I think a lot of agents, right, you kind of hear just within the industry, they kind of give up a little too early on certain clients who might not come with a pre-qualification letter or who just doesn't seem like that it's going to be quote unquote an easy closing, right, for the agent themselves. And they tend to either pass that client off or just kind of give up on them. But, what you did here was you didn't give up on these clients and you basically walk them through the process of buying a home step by step without really knowing whether or not it's going to turn out, it's going to turn out to be a closing or not. But you kept going, you kept trying with them, and eventually it did turn out. It did turn out to be a good story, and they ended up getting into a home. And yeah, that definitely is kind of going above and beyond what the normal level of service that an agent that kind of is in the industry now, the average agent in the industry now, is giving to their clients. So that's really awesome, right? The stories you guys shared. So the second thing that I think will be interesting for you guys to share is a time that you really solved a creative issue or solved an issue creatively for a client in real estate. Again, either buyer or seller, doesn't matter. But one time that you solved an issue creatively for a client in real estate. And again, we'll start with you, Tony, and then we'll go with you, Andres, with the same question.
Okay, so one of the times I helped someone creatively in San Antonio market, I had actually an investor from out of town, a couple of them. they had purchased a house, and they had some issues because the previous tenant, after they vacated, there was still just a lot of debris, a lot of, it was bedding, it was furniture, clothing, um, pots, pans, all that kind of stuff. They just left it in disarray. So, because of my background, and because I, flipped houses, I have a lot of resources. I was able to connect my seller with a great crew who did a trash out, what we call a trash out, which means vacate the home. I got the home deep cleaned, which needed deep clean. Got some recarpeted. So this, even though my client was remote, I was able to get everything coordinated, get the right vendors in there. So I mean, I've vetted a lot of people, and I've the people that are the highest price with great value, and I still get high value with a lower cost with a lot of the people that I use, and I'll let them know, you can use my vendors because I've worked with them, I've trusted them, and they even had to fix a door, door jams that weren't working right, things like that. So able to help them and get that house ready for market, essentially get it cleaned up and presentable. So they really were happy with that.
Yeah, I think that's really awesome that you were able to help somebody with that, right? Because again, kind of coming into the going back to your experience in flipping, you have a lot of vendors that are kind of in your in your toolbox or your tool belt, right? That you can now share with other clients, because it's all about, as a flipper, getting your property really market ready and getting it sold for the highest amount of highest amount of money for in the lowest period of time, right? You want to
Mhm.
get that out, you want to turn a profit. So applying that to your clients, that's going to be a really valuable tool and a valuable resource that you have. Again, showing in the way that you help this client with the vendor recommendations. So
Right, for sure. And then, the other thing is, if someone from out of town is contacting a vendor in town, and they don't, they're trying to kind of vet them and things like that. I mean, at the end of the day, like, kind of like you said, time really is money in getting something accomplished. And the fact that I've worked with these people before, they know the standards, they know what I want, the expectations and things like that. If there's anything wrong, I'll text them. A couple of hiccups happen, which is, you know, it can happen. So I sent some pictures. They came out, took care of it. But when there's a gap as far as time or space, location wise, sometimes it's hard. They're just saying, "Oh well, they're out of town." I'll get to it when I get to it. But for myself, the people that I use don't treat me that way. So I was able to get it done in a quick manner.
yeah, and that's very important, right? Making sure that everybody's serviced with the same amount of or at least normal amount of priority, right? Not just
Yeah.
putting somebody off. So that's awesome. I love that story. And again, same question to you, Andres. One time that you helped the client solve an issue creatively, kind of in your own way and with your own experience.
So it actually happened recently. So around Thanksgiving, we all know Thanksgiving, the holidays, it's usually like a very, very slow time. And it's due to people being occupied with travel or just shopping or just enjoying time with the family. So I had a listing at the end of November, and I needed to bring awareness. So how do I bring awareness? I was handing out flyers, door to door. I was going out to businesses, handing out flyers. I also used KV Core Boost a couple of times. And I was hosting open houses, even like the day after Thanksgiving. So everyone had Black Friday. Well, I had an open house, guys. So I was just trying to bring awareness, because at that time the market just kind of stagnant, right? And I see a lot of listings just sit, but what I would like for agents to realize is sometimes we just got to do a little bit of work and just approach it instead of just listing it on like social media. You got to have different avenues to lead them to your property. So what I do is I do open houses. I will knock on 10 neighbors to the left, 10 to the right, and then 10 across the street. And I try to touch all bases. And I also do the property boost. I will also do social media, but bring in as much awareness. At the end of the day, that property was under contract around the first or second of the year. We just recently closed. In this market, it was a little bit over 8 weeks, but at this point of the market where we're kind of struggling to move properties, it actually went well. And I think where I was creative is finding different avenues to market that property.
Right. Yeah. Again, it kind of goes back to your first story as well. Kind of the fall on the same theme a little bit here is that you're not giving up on your clients when other agents might just kind of say, hey, it's the holiday season, and it's not going to move very quickly anyways. Why don't we just take it slow, and then when it picks back up, then we'll push a little bit more effort into it. But you actually did the opposite thing, right? And then you really solved this, like you said, you solved this issue creatively and started pushing harder during the winter season when inventory is usually pretty low anyways. So if there are people actually looking to buy houses, then they're definitely going to come across the property that you're marketing because you're putting out so much marketing for that property as well. So I think that's really really cool that you were able to help that client, and congrats on the closing even during the even during the slower months. So yeah, so I think we talked a little bit about here different ways that you have went above and beyond for your clients, and different ways that you've helped clients solve issues. I think the last story that I really think will be valuable for you guys to share is one time that you actually got feedback from your clients that maybe it was something that you did intentionally, maybe it was something that was just part of your normal service. But one time that you got feedback from a client where they really felt that they received a lot of value from working with you specifically as a client rather than a different agent, or maybe kind of going at it themselves. So again, we'll start with the same order. Tony, we'll start with you, and then Andres will wrap up with you.
So one of the times I got some really good feedback was actually when I helped my existing client buy a home, or buy actually some land with a home on it that was for sale by owner, and my client didn't want to trust the inexperience of a for sale by owner person. So they asked, he just offered to pay me to do the paperwork. And when I got into the conversation with the seller, they were actually very appreciative as well, because they really felt like they knew what they wanted to do, but they just didn't know how to go about it. They were offering a general warranty deed, and my seller, I said, and my buyer, I said, hey, you need a special, you need to get the special warranty deed, and they were very 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 happy with the transaction. The person that was not my client, they actually um, gave me some really good feedback. They said, well, we had worked with other people, and you've explained everything, you know even though we actually didn't hire you to do this, but they really appreciated me, and were super super happy with the transaction, and they told me that they would like to use me for future transactions as well. So yeah, that was some really good feedback, and I was happy to make my clients happy, and also happy that the selling side, they also were very happy with my service as well, because I wanted them to understand all the different parts of the process, the contract, different parts of the contract, even though they wanted to put the contract together, um, what a standard contract looked like, what it meant, and then also the process for title to do their title work and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I really like that story actually, because you basically you went and helped the other party of the transaction just to essentially help the closing process, make it easier and smoother. And then
Hmm.
they were the one that actually gave you feedback like, hey, next time, next time we're going to use you because you served
Yeah.
us so well here. Right. Kind of almost like a trial period, right? Like being their
Right.
agent for a trial period. And then
Yeah.
they were really pleased with, with your service. So that way in the future, they're going to be using you as your agent as well. So that's a really cool story of, kind of how you got some feedback for clients, or even, in this case, not really clients, who received a lot of value from just basically your core service.
Mhm.
Yeah, same question to you, Andres. A time that you felt that a client really gave you feedback, or you felt that a client really received a lot of value just from something that may come natural to you, or just be part of what you're already doing as an agent.
So a lot of the feedback that I get from most, if not every one of my clients, is they really appreciate that I educate them through the process and I go every step. That I'm very thorough with every step, and that they have the knowledge to make a decision. And why do we need an inspection? Why different processes in the transaction are needed? And I think what they like is sometimes we might not get good news in the middle of a transaction, but just being able to manage their emotions and kind of like it's already a stressful situation when you purchase a property, right? It's one of the biggest investments. You get nervous, you get sick, you get doubts, but having someone to educate you and guide you through that process just reassures you that you're doing something that's going to benefit. You're going to be able to grow. So a lot of the feedback that I get from my clients is just giving them the reassurance and the education. Um, it benefits them. And then after they close, because I do a lot of pop buys and I do host events, and I speak to my clients on a daily basis and just getting feedback. Hey, Andres, I was so nervous. I'm glad that we made this move. You were the perfect person. And then my kids, they're thriving in school now. And I just goes to show to by the parents being reassured and purchasing the home. Now the kids have some reassurance that that's their home, and then they're able to succeed on their everyday life. So they get to meet friends, they get to meet neighbors, they get to host parties. So there's a lot of benefits to why you should purchase a home and why you would want a home. And me being a part of that actually is rewarding for me, but it's the feedback that I get from my clients. Like it's always like this was the best decision I made. And then a lot of my clients, I help them navigate through the high interest rates. Most of them were under 5.5%. And in that market, it was I was educating them why we needed a buy down, and there is a set rate, and just kind of letting them know, like, hey, because anytime we think about interest rates, right, we think about 2008 and the collapse and how interest rates were fluctuating, and then there was no cap. Uh, Nowadays, when you're doing an interest rate or a buy down, you get qualified on what the third year is, and that's a fixed rate. So you get qualified on the highest fixed rate of the buy down. Educating your clients about that, and then the market just taking its natural course, and then they're reflecting and they're like, "Oh my God, you saved us so much money. We never thought the interest rates were going to be near 8%." So just educating clients and then getting the feedback from them that they were comfortable and they're happy they made the decision to purchase a home.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome that that's the feedback that you're getting from your clients, because I think for so many agents, right, or so many clients, I think they feel that going through the process of buying or selling real estate is just kind of a transaction, right, for them and for the agent. But you always have stayed in contact with all of your previous clients. I know you recently actually just hosted with another agent, Christine, a client appreciation party of all of your past clients as well. So you guys are really taking more of a personal touch with working with your clients, educating them through the process, and really making sure that they're not just buying the home and successful there, but also they're getting to keep, right. They're getting to keep the home, they're getting to stay in there, and they're having a good experience once they move into the home as well as buyers. So I think that's a really good story, and some really good feedback that you both are getting from clients. So if you guys are watching this or listening to this, and you guys want to have a similar experience, right, and in real estate, whether you're buying or selling or investing, make sure to look at the description below this video and reach out to either Andres or Tony, they'll make sure that you have just as good, if not even better, experience working with them in real estate. So make sure to do that. And other than that, guys, thank you for being here and sharing your stories, and thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of the Real Estate Roundup. Take care.